Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is episode 2 of the New Year, New You series.
Thank you so much for joining us again as we spread positivity. And if you don't know, this is Jam Recovery Ministry. Jonathan and Graham always make jam. So we're so excited to talk about our real lives as we hope to impact yours.
This week, we are continuing the New Year's resolution conversation and discussing new expectations, realistic changes.
Yes, with new expectations to change, we need to be realistic about how much can change and what happens when there's already disappointment
Mm.
in the first month of your ability to change into a New Year's resolution. So, for example, like I spoke at the last episode, I had an idea to go back to our personal trainer that we had last year, and there were a few obstacles along the way, which are now we live almost an hour away from where the personal trainer used to train us. We have a lot of things that we do at home now that we're trying to implement into our routine. And I'm in another board position. I mean, so on and so forth. There's 1,000 things and excuses that and reasons that can pop up. So it was really cool when I had an opportunity to meet with a different personal trainer. And actually, I didn't even know he was a personal trainer. It was just a community partner who was engaging me and said, "Hey, I want to meet with you." That we met over LinkedIn. And so it was really, really cool how in between all of that, he said, "I'm a personal trainer." And I was like, wait, and I'm a person who's trying to get trained. So this is really cool. And so long story short, the New Year's resolution brought about an expectation I had of working with our past trainer, but the realistic situation that took place is that now I'm starting to work with a new trainer who is going to take me from the 101 of fitness training. So it's really exciting because you never know what can happen if you just put yourself into the universe, just like I did, and live life on life's terms. Some of these things can absolutely happen and take a little bit of a change, a bit at a time.
And having those expectations, as you mentioned, is really hard because if you, speaking from me, if I don't meet those expectations, I get so hard on myself, I get upset, I get down. And what I notice is when a lot of people, speaking for myself again as well, they start these New Year's resolutions and they're like, we're going to start this year off right. We're going to like
Uh-huh.
change
Yep.
and all of that stuff. And then you don't do what you expected that you were going to do. You know, you do it for like one strong good week and then the next week you don't do it. But what I want to say to that is because I am my worst critic and I'm super hard on myself. So when I don't accomplish something that I set my mind to, I get really down and hard on myself. And one thing that I've learned through recovery and my ministry and things of that nature is once you fall off the horse, so to speak, get back on the horse. It's okay if you like had one week of mistakes. Just get back on the horse again. And I'm really proud of us and myself as well, us together, because we're really taking this New Year's and really trying to just like really focus and take care of ourselves, truly, because I've been at the gym for almost this past month, and
Mm-hmm.
really eating healthy, keeping track of my diet, which I never do, like an app, keep track of my diet, keep track of my workouts. And there is days that I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like yesterday was a perfect example. You weren't home yet, and I right after work I got super tired, and I went to take a nap, and I was like, I don't want to work out today. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to work out today, and I literally had to like consciously make that effort, get out of bed, go to the gym, even if I didn't want to, and do it. And my workout was one of the best it has been for the past few weeks. And nobody was in the gym. So I always love that part. Not a soul was in the gym. My favorite thing ever.
And I love that you said that because it ever brings back to me that expectations are premature resentments, right? And so if I have an expectation that something is going to happen, especially when it comes to health and fitness, if my expectation is that I'm going to gain muscle mass or lose weight or change my diet or all just from night to day, it's not going to happen. So you're a really good example of somebody who has discipline, and I admire that in you, baby, because it's really, really cool to see like how you do it, so then I can model it after you. Because I think that's one beautiful thing about a marriage is that we both have different puzzle pieces, so to speak, that we have. And so when it comes together, it's a whole different puzzle because it's united. And so for me, it absolutely is really cool to see how moving into the new year, like there have been some expectations of a resolution, but it
Mm.
hasn't been everything we want it to be, and that's been okay because that's the whole point. It's like if I have these expectations and I don't meet them, or somebody else doesn't meet them. The other day I heard a metaphor in one of the meetings that was about that it said um, either there's three things that a person does. Either a person starts a fire, a person puts out the fire, or a person blames somebody else for the fire.
Oh.
And so for me, it comes down to if thinking about expectations and what they do to my life, like I'm thinking about if I either create an expectation or I nullify that expectation or I blame somebody else when that expectation didn't come the way I needed it to. And so for I think that's something really important I have to think about is like if I am going to be diligent in working out, eating right, what have you, whatever your resolution is, for example, like I think this is a really good opportunity to go. Not everything can be done at one time. So I have to be careful that I don't fan the flames
Mm.
of the fire because I am the person that puts bit by bit the wood and everything else that builds the fire. I got to make sure that the fire is being taken care of without it going too out of control because if it gets out of control, then all of a sudden I just shut down and I don't want to do the resolution anymore. I don't know if that's ever happened for you.
Yes, every day of my life because
Mm.
not every day of my life now, but like I'm saying, like there's been times like you know me already. For like we're married, you know how I am, and I have expectations a lot, and not just expectations. I have high expectations, you know, and when I don't seize those expectations, or when they don't come to fruition, what I'm expecting, I run, I quit, I hide, you know. So has always happened to me. That is something that I'm continuously learning every day. Is not to have those expectations and really just face the world as it is. You know, like living life on life terms is a perfect example. You know, every single day I can have things in my mind what I think is going to happen, whether it's what I'm doing for my New Year's resolution or just like how I'm living life or how I expect other people to behave or act. And most times than not, whatever I think in my mind doesn't come true, you know? And I get really upset and really down on myself and want to hide. How do you handle when your expectations don't come to fruition or don't come true?
I think that's a great example of like that fire metaphor again because that blaming somebody else for the fire. So, for example, like I had an expectation that I would be able to meet our personal trainer from the past and connect again. And the cool thing about it was I was like, he already knows who I am. We've already worked together. We have this, we have that. And then I was thinking, well, this would be really hard to do because we don't live anywhere in the city that we do anymore. We're now out in the suburbs. So that's going to make it harder. Like, and there's all these other things. So I had an expectation that I would get back with the same routine of personal training that I did before. And then I thought about like that can't be realistic because I've already thought about this and already in my head it's already played out. And so the moment that I realized, you know what, this isn't going to be feasible, I thought, well, you know what? Then I honestly was just like, then maybe I don't have a personal trainer this year. Maybe I just do it on my own. And I'm so happy that um, God put somebody else in my life that really just was like randomly said, like I was saying earlier, like, hey, I want a personal train. I'm a personal trainer. I'm saying I need a personal trainer. We have already started working this week together. It was a really fun session. It's a different dynamic. That's absolutely for sure. But that's because as a human being, what to answer your question about expectation is a human being, including myself, does not do well with change. And when changes come, it's
Hmm.
very hard
Yeah.
to deal with them. But in part of it, I have to somehow just take in what is and live in the moment and go, you know what? Like, it's not going to always be what I want it to be. I am not the center of the universe. God isn't going to give me everything I want. And that's part of what living life on life's terms, like you were saying earlier, looks like. It's like if I could control my life, it would be what I want it to be, and it would be nowhere what it is today. And I'm really, really happy that, like, for example, we're together, we have this sober marriage, and everything is really great for us right now. And life could not be better for us right now because we
Absolutely.
both have worked our tails off to get to this point. But like, I could have never dreamt this. So God was the one that pre-planned this for us. And so for me, I think it comes down to, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so expectations are part of the change for me.
Yeah.
And so whenever something happens that I'm like, oh my God, I had this expectation this was going to happen and it doesn't, I take a deep breath and go, okay, God must have something else planned in store that's bigger and greater than I know. And I can't wait to see what that is. Not all the time do I do that, but the moment I can remember to go, you know what? God's plans are much larger than little old me, then I think everything comes into perspective.
I learned so much for you. So I really do, baby. So we're saying is, let's shadow those expectations and let's just live life on life's terms. But if you get upset that your expectations didn't happen, it's okay too. You know, we are human. We make mistakes, and we have emotions that we need to deal with on a daily basis.
Absolutely, and I think we could encapsulate everything that has to do with expectations and taking those, like you're saying, those chances, making those mistakes. And I think it's like Miss Frizzle said in the Magic School Bus: take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. Thank you all so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. And don't forget, when you join our channel, to like, subscribe, and share. We love you all so much. Bye. See you next time.